So you're about to buy a house and you hear your agent talking about the appraisal. We got to make sure to make an offer that will appraise. We got to make sure it appraises. What if it doesn't appraise? Do you have money to cover the difference if it doesn't appraise? What does all this mean? Why is the appraisal so important? Stick around, I'm about to tell you. Hey everybody, it's the Raleigh Realty Mom, Heather Taylor Petrovich, and today we're talking about appraisals and why they're so important. Now, if you're gonna go buy a house for cash, good for you. The appraisal's not that big of a deal. But if you're going to get a mortgage, your lender is going to wanna know how much the house is worth because the house is the collateral for the money they're lending. So your lender is going to order an appraisal. And why does the lender's appraised value affect you? Well, if you're buying a $350,000 house and the lender says the house is worth $350,000 or more, you're golden. It's a non-issue. But if it appraises for less, you're going to have to make up the difference in cash. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're going to buy a house for $350,000 and you're going to put 10% down. So that means the bank's going to be paying 90% or $315,000 and you are going to be paying the additional 10%, which is $35,000. So the bank gets an appraisal and the appraisal comes back low. The appraisal comes back at $340,000. So now the bank is saying, okay, we'll still lend you 90%, but only on the appraised value because that's the value that they think the house is worth. So now they're going to pay 90% of $340,000, that's $306,000. You're going to still pay the 10% of $340,000, that's $34,000. But you're also going to have to pay the $10,000 difference in the appraisal versus the purchase price, bringing your total up to $44,000. So as you can see, there's a $9,000 impact here in money out of pocket for you due to the low appraisal. Now, what can you do if this is the case? Well, in North Carolina, most likely you're still within your due diligence period, so you've got a few options. One, you can ask the seller to drop the price to the appraised value. Two, you can pay the full price and just make up the difference yourself. Or three, you and the seller can negotiate to maybe a middle ground. You're still going to have to make up any difference though between the appraised value and your purchase price. If you and the seller can't come to an agreement, you can't renegotiate, they won't drop the price, you don't want to pay more, you may have to walk away from the deal, losing your due diligence deposit and any money you've spent along the way for inspections and appraisals. So it's really important that you understand the implications of a lower appraisal. Now, there are a lot of things that come into consideration. You may be wondering, why in the world would anyone ever pay over the appraised value then? Well, depends on your market. If you're in a market where there's multiple offers, you're competing against cash offers, they don't care about an appraisal, they're paying cash anyway, then you may want to think about coughing up the cash to make up any difference between the purchase price and the appraisal. If you're in a different market, the seller may be motivated to drop the price. So it really just depends on the state of the market at that point. That's where your realtor comes in. Find a good agent who understands the market conditions that you're in, who can educate you about what they think the appraised value may be. Now keep in mind, the appraisals are part art and part science, so your agent should be able to give you a pretty good idea of whether the house will or won't appraise and can set your expectations about what risk you're taking when you make a high offer. So that explains why appraisals are, in fact, important. I hope you have a new understanding. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me at RaleighRealtyMom@gmail.com. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.